Hi. We're going to talk about screen share. And screen share, this app is pretty great. I can screen share a computer, my mobile device to the display, or I can also do a desktop sync where I can take the image from the Android display down to your mobile device or your computer. Okay, so the first thing I see when I launch my screen share is going to be this 6-digit code. Now, you may ask yourself, well, where am I supposed to be putting this? If you haven't downloaded the software already, you can find instructions in User Guide. Once we click User Guide, on whatever device you're on, go to this website, https://sec.ifpserver.com/downloads. I just clicked on the QR code. It also gives you that URL at the bottom. The QR code is great because if you have a mobile device, just open up your camera and you can go straight to that website. It's going to give you a link to download the app on a mobile device. If not, type it in on your laptop. Chromebooks do not need to download anything. That is webcasting. So for Chromebooks, we don't need any of that. Okay. So once you're connected, you make sure that all your devices are on the same network. So in this case, it's on the Avco. My mobile device is on the same network, and so is my laptop. And then it gives us a code. I press the back button. So here's our code. You can rename your room in case you have more than one of this WA75D. We don't get confused. And how we do that is in the menu. We can say settings, and then if we scroll down, we're going to see device name. You can click on this blue square and we can go ahead and change your room name. So room 203 or whatever room you're in. Okay. We can change it so the code refresh rate doesn't change so often. If you're the only one connecting to it, you can also say never change so that anytime you're connecting with, say, your laptop, because you're the only one connecting to this room, the code will always be the same. So it's a really quick connection. Then we have maximum screens. So yours might be set at 4. So say if we're doing the whole class, we can see actually 9 screens at the same time. In this case, it doesn't really matter since I only have 2 devices. I really can't show you the 9. Okay, now going to, I think that was it. Sorry, I closed it out accidentally, slid all the way down. Let's go back to screen share. I'm going to connect to it. So now I launched the app on my phone. I'm going to put in this 6-digit code, AVH, which it's going to change. So make sure you don't write this down. It's going to be specific for your display. It's connected. Okay. It does ask me, sorry, terrible, but it's going to ask me to share my screen. I'm going to say start and then start broadcast. It's going to share it up to here. Let me type in the code N9K. Is that correct? Accept. I'm screen sharing my desktop and then mirror. Okay, waiting for the receiver. We can turn off that accept. If you want it to just connect automatically in the settings, we can turn that off. But we see that here's mirroring my phone and it's also mirroring my laptop. If I wanted to change it, this instruction in the middle is just saying you can do a long hold and move it over. Oh, let's try that again. Move it over. Okay, and we can keep moving. So if it's like the Hollywood squares and we had 9 images at the same time, I can click this one and move it here or move this one down here or wherever you need to move it to in whatever order you want. Now you're going to see on the 2 images, you're going to see this triangle on the bottom left corner. You're going to see this on every different computer that's connected, computer and mobile device. If I click on this triangle, I have different options. One, I can kick out that user. So I have the power. The second one is going to be to maximize the screen. So it takes over the entire screen. This one's a mobile device, so it's not as good looking, but let's try this laptop. So you see it took over the entire screen. And you did notice I can interact with the display. On my computer itself, if I click on the top, you're going to see on my computer, split screen, pause, switch, touch, and then more and close. So if I don't want people to interact on the display to control my computer, I turn off the touch feature And then you can touch everywhere on the board, it's just not going to affect my computer. In this case, I want to be able to control my computer from the display. Okay, I'm going to put it back. So click the arrow again, go the arrows going inwards. This one's kind of neat. If I click on my mobile device, I can click on the window to pop out. So now it's going to be an overlay over the other images. This is neat if I'm the only one logged in, I can have my Android device in the back and it'll be over the other Android images. Okay. Oh, sorry, I did maximum screen. All right. So that is our screen share. We can pop up a keyboard. The keyboard does pop up here, okay, on my computer. It is the on-screen keyboard. And then the volume. So I have another quick access to volume here. I'm going to close out this keyboard. Okay. So that's our screen share. I'm actually going to stop broadcasting this. Now it's screen mirroring my laptop. I'm going to go back and I'm going to say desktop sync. And desktop sync is interesting because it is going to copy or mirror the content that's on the display. Now remember, my laptop is sharing to the display, which is now sharing to my mobile device. Or it could be another laptop, a Chromebook, whatever it is. This desktop sync is like giving every student that front row seat to whatever's on the display that's on the Android. If I have another input like my HDMI 1, I won't be able to see it on desktop sync. It has to be shared through the Android part of the program. Okay? Let's see. Anything else? I'm going to come back here. I'm going to kick this person out. Okay? And I'm back to my home screen. So that is our screen share. I hope you learned a lot, use it a lot. I think it's pretty neat, especially the desktop sync. I honestly didn't know I was blind till I was in high school, so having something like this would have been great for me to see the front of the board instead of constantly squinting the entire time. Okay, so screen share.